All right, back to our old crappy block out, and this is just to demonstrate how little information you really need in order to do some of these operations. So with Alt-Tap to select this subtool, I'm going to turn the eyeball off to turn all the subtools off, and then tap the nameplate to turn the eyeball back on. And then I'm going to do an append ZSphere, and now, I'm sorry, not append. Append's going to shoot it all the way down here to the bottom, so let's select that one and delete it. I'm going to Alt-Tap this one again. I'm going to do an insert ZSphere. I'll put the ZSphere right below it. Select the ZSphere. Now, I'm not going across X symmetry or retopologizing or anything like that. I'm just going to hit W, move this down into place here. Hit E, and that's going to go to scale. So W is move, E is scale. I'm going to scale these down to the approximately the appropriate size. Of course, you can go ahead and change these thicknesses later with inflate or deflate or any number of options, but for now that's pretty close. So W, E to scale, and then I hit Q, and now I can start drawing new Z-spheres off of this one. Of course, I want to maintain the same size as I go, so I'm going to start dragging, and then hold down Shift, and then I'll snap it to the original size of the first Z-sphere. Pull that into place here, and then hit Q, hold down Shift, W to go into move mode, Q, W, and I can shoot this all the way to the other side. Now, of course, as I go through, it doesn't have that arch in there, so I can hit Q and then tap. That'll give me a Z-sphere in there. I can go into transparent mode so I can see it, and then W to move that out. So, anywhere you tap, it'll give you a new Z-sphere. Q, hold down Shift, and then just keep drawing. And then Q, Shift, move this over to this side, Q to make one in the middle, etc., etc. I'm not going to draw all of them, but just to kind of give you an idea of where these are going. And then even with this really low-res block out, you can tell where your shoelaces need to go. And of course, use reference, I suppose, if you need it. And then Q, tap, W, so it's Q and W mostly. And then turn off transparency to make sure your Z-spheres are in line here. Looking good. So now that I've done one side, I can do the other. Now, if you want to, you can duplicate this off, like I say in the documentation. Go into solo mode, and then you can just tap Alt to go ahead and delete all of these Z-sphere chains. Back to your original one, and then go out of solo mode, and now you've got a new subtool down here, and that way that just keeps it so that you don't go in there and accidentally move stuff around as you're going over under. It's kind of up to you. You can have two separate subtools, but if you want to just have one, let's go ahead and delete that one. Grab our original Z-sphere chain. You can just go ahead and continue off on the other side of this one. So we'll go W to move these things around, and then Q, hold down Shift, and then up, and then W, Q, hold down Shift, scoot it over to this side here, and then Q to tap one in there. Now in this one, I have to go over, under, right? So on this side will go over, and then this side will go under. So I'll have that one go over, and then on this side, tap Q, and then this one I'm going to move over. There we go. And then Q, hold down Shift to snap that size, go up one, Shift to go over, or in this case under, Q, move that. So there we go. We're starting to get shoelaces. Now that I've got my ZSphere shoelaces drawn on, let's go ahead and see what do we need to do. So again, just like when we were retopologizing, I'm going to go down here to topology and adaptive skin. Topology, I guess we don't really need to deal with. But adaptive skin, if I hit A, that's going to turn preview on. That's what our geometry is going to look like. If I change the density down to 1, you can see each one of these Z-spheres gives it its own poly group if that's what you want. If this geometry is looking pretty good, go over here to make adaptive skin. And then that's going to shoot off a new skin Z-sphere right in here. So I can just go ahead and do an insert skin Z-sphere. Don't need these Z-spheres anymore. Just so I don't get confused, I'm going to go ahead and just hit delete on that one. And then this is actual geometry here, so I can use my move brush and stuff. One thing I can do is go down here to my deformation menu, and you see how these got these tight corner transitions? I'm just going to go in here to polish and just kind of dumb those corner transitions down. And if you want to get new topology, again, geometry, Z-remesher, we can do same, adaptive size down to 0, and then that'll just give us a slightly new geometry to kind of play with. If you want to move one of these without moving the other one, there's two ways you can do that. So under brush, auto masking, under your brush menu, go over here to topological, and then it will just do a radius of just the topology that is close to it, like with a mouth bag here. Another thing you do is hit, you can turn that off, hit R and then control drag on your shoelace, and then that'll start masking along the topology, and now you can just go in here and just kind of move this around with everything else masked. So A couple different ways to do that. But anyways, that's the shoelace method for using Z-spheres to make your shoelaces all the way up to the top.